everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, we're talking about keep the faith. One of the hardest parts of being an entrepreneur, being a business owner of any type, is the fact that you honestly don't know when it's really going to take off. You don't know when your day is going to come. You don't know what it's going to take in order to get you past the just seemingly unending supply of challenges and trials and despair that comes your way. But I can tell you that if you can keep the faith, if you can be persistent, if you can keep trying new things, just keep hacking at it over and over and over again, eventually your day will come. I think I said in another episode, I might have said, I said it in like the description of one of my previous solo episodes, that being successful only really takes three things. It takes the right skill set, it takes the right mindset, and it takes opportunity. Well, you can only really work on the first two, your skill set and your mindset. Opportunity is something that comes once you have the right skill set and the right mindset. Because if you have the right mindset, you're going to be putting out the kinds of efforts, you're going to be going to the kinds of places you need to go to in order to put yourself into the situation that your skill set is going to shine through and somebody is going to give you that opportunity. However, so many people get so bogged down in the fear, the worry, the doubt of running something, of trying something they have never really done before. And so they're not necessarily good at it and they suck at it. And so because they suck at it, they think themselves of a loser when they're not really a loser. They might have lost this first time, or they may not have done something right the first time or second time or third time, 100th time. The point is, you're probably going to suck to start. And this is something we have to accept in ourselves. I mean, think of band, right? I never did band growing up. I do not play instruments because when I was in fourth grade, we did the recorder, right? And you might remember the recorder. It was like a little flute, clarinet kind of thing. It was clarinet, right? In a way. And I was no good. And because I was no good, I set it down. But there were other kids who were like, hey, this is really fun. I enjoy making music. And so they go off and they got another instrument and they had to practice and they had to practice and they had to practice and practice and practice. And when you fast forward, from fourth grade into high school, some of those kids were still practicing and they were still trying to get better. And they knew that they were making mistakes, and that was just part of it. It takes a lot of time in order to get good at anything. And so if you are not willing to keep that faith, if you're just going to go, you know what, I haven't got it yet, so there's no reason for me to keep going. It doesn't matter whether it's the first day, the 100th day, or the 10th year of you doing this thing. If you quit, you're a quitter, and quitters never win, and winners never quit. All right. You have to understand that you just got to keep hacking at it. You got to keep pushing forward. Don't let anybody else drag you down. Don't let your family, your friends, naysayers, random trolls on the internet. They will all try to tell you, you know what, you've been at it for a long time. Maybe you should just go find something else. But if you've got that fire inside of you, let those naysayers be the fuel that drives you forward. Make it your goal to prove them wrong. If you've got nothing else, if you have nothing else to show for it, no results whatsoever, not a dime in your pocket from the work that you've been doing, at least you have that. I was watching The Last Dance on Netflix with my wife. I actually watched it like a year ago, but she finally got around to watching it. I'm like, oh, you're watching Last Dance. I love Michael Jordan. And that was essentially what Michael Jordan seemed to have to do in order to like really pull himself even further, even farther into his drive of the game in order to crush the other team. Was he had to make up slights in order to just have something to be willing to fight for. You have to have something to fight for. And whether it's somebody else or your own, like just desire to do good or to be wealthy, it doesn't really matter. You have to have something burning inside of you that's going to be able to get through the doubt and the pain and the worry. Things happen. Sometimes, like I had a client today, she got an email that made her a little upset. And you know what? It happens. It happens. It wasn't like, the thing was, the client didn't, the client of hers wasn't doing anything wrong. They just misinterpreted something, right? They had just misinterpreted something that she had said. And because they had misinterpreted it, she like went off the handle. And so I'm here on the phone. I'm like, wow, you need to calm down, because one, put yourself in their shoes. Maybe they misunderstood. Maybe they didn't think that. Maybe like there's so many things you can do. But she was like ready to close her whole business over one email. I'm like, you really need to calm down. And her issue is faith. She's not certain her business is going to get to where she's always dreamed it would be. And I have to remind her, hey, it sometimes takes time. Sometimes there's downs and ups. Like life is a cycle, right? They knew this back in the old Greek days, that life is like a wheel. Like sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, and it just keeps going around and around. And that's what it is. When you're down, instead of being worried that you're down, sit there and go, you know what? Any day now, I'm going to go up. There's only one direction to go. And then when you're up, you got to realize, hey, I need to be prepared for when I come down, because I know it's going to come. But it only works if you have the right mindset. The skill set, that's something you can study, you practice. That's just a matter of time and effort. Mindset is the thing that really makes or breaks a business, especially specifically a business owner. The owner is the leader, the person who drags it all forward. A lot of people think that leaders just command people around and the troops move forward and push the business. But it's not true. It's the leader. The leader's out front. They're the one with the vision. And your vision is based on the level of faith that you have in yourself and your capabilities and where you want to go. If you don't have vision, the people shall perish. All right. So that's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to remind you all, organization is the enemy of sloth. One of the simplest things that you can do is, in order to continue to have the faith, is just create a list of all the things that you're grateful for. And I know that sounds like really kind of like, is that it, Brad? A lot of, a good number of people, I don't want to say a lot, but a lot of people simply just don't take the time to truly appreciate the things that are good in their life. And it's really sad, because so many people have so much good in their life. If you compare yourself to somebody on the other side of the world who's really not doing well, you'd be like, oh man, my life is like 1,000,000,000 times better than them. But then they immediately kind of seem to forget it. And they're like, oh, but I have all these other problems. Like, you have so much good and so much to be thankful for. Take the time, really sit down and consider it, because if you can sit there and be grateful, it really can help wash away all the problems, because the problems are temporary. The things that you're grateful for, your family, the fact that you have a roof over your head, you have a meal in your belly, you have this business, you have people working for you, whatever it is, you have it. And there's people out there who don't. And, maybe the thing that's such a problem for you is here for today. Maybe it's here for a week or a year. If you're going through bankruptcy, that hits you hard and it follows you for a while. But there are better days ahead. You can always look forward to stuff. Hey, maybe you still have your family. There's something that you can be, hey, at least I still have, right? You still have your health. You still have your ability to think. When it comes down to it, you have you. And you can always count on you when you really need to. And like I said, create this list. And if you make a really big list of things you're grateful for, I'm fairly certain you're going to be able to go, you know what? I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this for them. And it'll build up that fire in you, and you'll be able to keep pushing forward. All right. That's it. That's what I got for you today. Keep the faith, everybody. Don't be just a gamer. Be a gamerpreneur.